Hello, Jonathan and Grant here with Squad Help, bringing you advanced naming strategies that we've learned from launching over 30,000 plus naming projects and managing hundreds of them. Today's topic, creating a brand. Start with human nature. Grant, take it away.
So I was listening to this really great audiobook last few days, and it inspired me to want to talk about the essence of a brand. I've been wanting to talk about this for many weeks, probably months now. And there's a lot of content that we've already produced about some of the naming styles and some of the branding concepts. And this book really gave me some nice context, and I'll talk that through, and I think it's really cool. So David Hawkins was a psychologist. He had one of the biggest psychology practices in New York. He goes on later in his career to be a motivational speaker, self-help guru, published by Hay House, one of the biggest publishing companies in that space. And he's talking about running a business. One of the neat things is he really did run a very successful psychology business, unlike some of the other, self-help gurus who are talking about business. And he coached a lot of budding psychologists who are coming onto the stage into how to run their business. So that's the backgrounds that he's coming from. And he said something, and it really hit me. You only have one customer. It's human nature. So you're trying to, when you're running a business, you're trying to, appeal to and gratify and align with the essence of what people want. And he goes on to explain a lot about operations and how you have to make things easy. He has this really funny point that he keeps coming back to. He says, everybody needs to go to the bathroom. Make bathrooms easy to find if you have a retail business. So it's just funny, it's just really down to earth advice, but it's simple, and it makes you step back and really think, how is this much simpler than sometimes we make it? And a lot of people come to us and they've done these branding strategies, and there's nothing wrong with them. I think there's probably a lot of value, but they come and they say, I'm going to build a hero brand. I'm like, okay, so, and then you have to really step back and get to what is the practical, what is the applicable aspect of the desire to have a hero brand. And what we often talk about is a classic brand, a pragmatic brand, modern brand, outlier brands, emotional brands, and fun and playful brands. That's kind of we've talked about that a lot. And I think it would be really interesting to tie that back to human nature and build that conversation. So we're talking about building a brand. We're talking about the either fundamental first stages of how do I want my brand to come across? Well, how am I going to build it out? Which then leads to colors and name and the tone on your website and so much more. So this is the early part. You could also be talking about pivoting a brand. So you're already in one place, you're not going in the direction that you're going to go in the future, and you need to make some changes. So breaking this down, you have classic. So what does that mean from the standpoint of human nature? What does classic mean? Classic means your customer wants to feel prestigious or special. Fashion, this is huge. Automobiles, huge. You buy a Rolls Royce because you want that feeling of preeminence. You want that feel, very few people, and this is well known in marketing and branding, and I think most people would, if they really sat down, admit it to themselves. You don't buy a Rolls Royce because it's such a better car than a Honda, because the driving experience is just, I just love driving so much. You buy it because it makes you feel good. It gives you that status. It gives you that preeminence, all those sort of things. The feeling of you're working with somebody who has mastered, so this idea of trust, security, reliability. That's another really great thing that you have with a classic brand. You go to the big consulting businesses, the huge ones, when you're you go to Boston Consulting Group, you go to Bain, and you spend a fortune with them because you can trust, and usually I assume rightfully, that they're going to do a really good job, and they have really smart people working there, and so on and so forth. So you have that trust and reliability. So when you step back and you say, okay, how do I want my business, again, just to step back to the point here, how do I want my business to be branded? And we think about human nature. Some of the things that human wants are preeminence, reliability, security, those sort of things. Moving on to pragmatic, the pragmatic aspect of branding. What we mean by that from a human nature standpoint is I'm going to solve your problem. A business that puts solving the problem up front is a pragmatic brand. You don't hit their website and come for the flashy colors. You don't buy their product because it's going to make you feel good. You buy it because it's going to get you from point A to point B at a reasonable cost. You buy it because you have this physical problem, and this sort of activity or prescription is going to help you feel better. Pragmatic, solution focused. The next thing you look at is you go into modern brands. So human nature enjoys to be part of what is new and fresh, right? There's a buzz. I mean, this is a natural way to get buzz. To be the first person to do this, or the first person or the first company to think about something in this way. So that's a great brand position, is to do something new, do something different. There's also this idea of discovery. That's a powerful thing that the human nature is. It's just inbuilt. Another one we talk about a lot is outlier brands. Outlier brands are very different. They're purposefully different. Urban Decay is one of the examples I always go back to. So human nature, you have curiosity. And you have the excitement of curiosity and discovering something new and being some part of something that's outside of the in crowd. So that really pushes the boundaries. That's part of who we are as humans. We like that. Not saying everybody likes that, but it's just inbuilt to human nature. We talk a lot about emotionality, and this is so simple. Like, emotions are part of what we want. You want to feel vibrant. You want victory, strength. Mighty Call is a product that we use at Squad Help. That word mighty, it's a great inbuilt word. You want to feel strong. A lot of spas and people and places that
honest
industry.
company, right?
Honest company. Honesty is very essentially part of human nature. Spas are tranquility and peace, so you can pull that into your brand. The last one we talk about is fun and playful. And fun and playful, I always think of as a spin-off of emotionality, because obviously that is an emotion, but it's big enough and broad enough to be its own thing. And there's just an inbuilt want to have fun and to laugh and all of those sort of things. So when you're coming to your brand, and you can really pull back and think about the first steps in a very simple way. What do I want from what do I want my customers, if I'm connecting to at the level of human nature, where do I want my business to sit? Do I want to make people feel preeminent? Do I want to solve their problems? Do I want to make it easy and fast? Do I want to make it fun? And that's what you come back to. When a lot of times when I think of fun, probably younger people out there won't remember, but I think most people in our age range will remember the iPod. The original iPod commercials. They were super colorful. Everybody was dancing.
Right.
They were really new, and they had artistic style, and they looked fresh, and there was loud music, and they just played on that emotionality. They were cool. They were cool. I mean, how many brands have lived off of and succeeded because they were cool? Human nature. You want to be cool, and there it is.
And it's led to such a following for them, right?
Oh my
Just from
God.
that
Yeah.
initial
Yeah.
how they wanted to come across. I remember that they had the beats, in their
Yeah.
heads, and then you had the little,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. No. Yeah.
flowing in the background, all the
Yeah.
colors. So that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's a great place to start, Grant, is that if they come from that first point, what's that human nature? You brought up a great one, Apple, right? Think different back in the 80s, right? Nobody ever,
Right.
like it was
Modern.
just
Right.
coming that modern, that fresh,
The
that, hey, we're
newness.
different than Microsoft, right? These boring old,
Right.
this boring old company here.
And
So,
now the funny thing is Microsoft also succeeded, and that's one of the things I was thinking about when preparing for this. There's a contrast in human nature.
mm,
Oftentimes humans
yeah.
both want security and newness, and those two things
Ah,
within the human fight. And that's why you'll see companies that both succeed.
mm,
Microsoft and HP, which come across as very, or IBM, probably even a really better
IBM,
example,
right?
come across as very reliable,
Yeah.
trustworthy. Well, Apple was going, we're the newest and freshest and coolest. And they both appeal to human nature.
Yeah.
And that's a fun thing about business too. And I think about branding, there's no right way to do it.
Mhm.
It's a unfolding of who your business is and who you want
Yeah.
to be, rather than, I have to do it this way.
Yeah. Great point. Oh, straight to the point, right? Like that is it in a nutshell. If you come with your brand with what Grant has talked about as the forefront in your mind, like um you will appeal to that human nature.
And you can build the rest of everything else around, that core idea.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I think we should wrap this up with the thought that, just step back, think about how you want people, how you want to hit people at that deep level.
Mm.
And I think we gave a lot of examples of what that could look like. I'm sure it's not an exhaustive list. If you've never done it and you're about to start a business, go read a bunch of books on psychology for sure.
There you go.
you know, uh,
Great place to start.
yeah.